Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and it is Friday yet again. And today we're here for some more Doom 3. And I'm, of course, joined by Raynick, who has some interesting news on manga being translated into anime in the West.
I wouldn't call it news. It's basically there are certain things that probably not going to see. Mainly because if you've been following Kick Vic, they're complaining about just about everything under the sun. So much so that the latest lawsuit they want to launch against Vic Mignogna is actually a class action, quote unquote, claiming that Vic invaded their dreams.
Wait, what?
I'm not kidding. That's a real thing.
Now, wait a minute. I misheard. What?
The idiots want to try to launch a class action, which is not going to go anywhere because any good lawyer worth his salt, even the bad lawyers who just want to make the retainer money and not do anything, will flat out tell them, no, you cannot sue someone for invading your dreams.
Okay, how? That makes my brain and my balls hurt, as Spoonie would once say.
You're not alone. I've got a hell of a migraine.
Oh my god. Well, there goes the anime. Oh yeah, real quick.
No, that's not going to kill anime. You're just not. You're not going to see certain things unless there's a massive change up. You're not going to see certain things like, say, Kenichi Sonata's Gunsmith Cats get a new anime adaptation.
Well, I haven't watched any of those anyway, so it's not that huge of a deal. Also, we just reached the Revenant. I do find it kind of interesting that Doom 3, on a completely non-insane note, kind of mixes some enemies from Doom 1 and 2 into the same game.
I always liked how they did the Revenant with, the clear body as opposed to, here's just a skeleton with rocket launchers on his shoulders.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty neat. I like that a bit more than Revenant Doom 2016. The one in 2016 just seems kind of, well, generic, like a lot of things in 2016.
Here's the thing. A lot of the designs in 2016, there is some heart to them, although the Revenant in 2016 seems more like he would be a chattel enemy as opposed to the Revenant from Doom 3.
Yeah, he's a little too easy to kill. Because the Revenant was a tough thing to kill back in the old Doom 2. I hated that thing, actually, because those fucking homing rockets are some of the most annoying... It's one of the most annoying attacks known to man. And they do a crap ton of damage, too. And hello!
It's about like the Vor in Quake.
Oh god, that thing. And hello, Neji, and hello, Dan. And Doom 3 isn't backwards compatible with the Xbox One? I'm not surprised. And hello, Hunter. And hello, Turok. Goddamn, there's everybody here.
Yeah. I'll type the response out. It's a bit easier. This way we can keep on topic.
Am I going?
This way we can keep on topic. I'll answer Turok's question and type.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to mention that I did notice it, but I haven't played it.
I have. Now the topic's changed. I suppose it's easier to say it. Pardon me. Pollen's been kind of kicking my rear end pretty solid here.
Am I going?
The Blood Fresh Supply, which they really should have come up with a better subtitle. I mean, yeah, I know it's fitting. 1 unit whole blood, fresh supply blood. I get it. But still, it makes it hard to differentiate. It is good. No, it's not a direct source port because Atari, or rather Infogrames, somewhere has the source code and they're not giving it up. The source code for the new Blood Fresh Supply is actually based off of reverse engineered code in the KEX engine. You can finally completely and absolutely turn off auto aim, and you finally have access, if you want optionally, to have full 3D aim as opposed to the 2.5D aim of every other build engine game. And the made to order mode is freaking awesome. If you got used to Blood and you want more of a challenge, go to made to order, crank the enemies up to the highest, crank the aggression and accuracy up to the highest for each individual enemy, and just go to town.
Yeah, that actually sounds kind of interesting. I'll be honest, I've never been a big fan of Blood. I didn't play it until like 2012.
That's not strange, because Blood sold well for what it was, but make no mistake, it was no blockbuster. It sold a fraction of what Shadow Warrior did.
I don't think they ever actually really advertised it much.
You really couldn't, because, well, remember, this is the 90s, while violence was, still pretty prevalent in video games, like, Doom, Quake, of course, your Mortal Kombat and all that. Lighting someone on fire and watching as their head explodes off the body, that's a little over the top for advertisers.
Yeah. That's not surprising it didn't get as... But I never even heard of it until many, many years later. So, yeah. I guess the thing is, I didn't really like the levels that much. The weapons aren't my favorite. But that's mainly more due to personal preference than the game actually being bad.
Yeah, basically they took what Duke was on its hardest difficulty levels and they just ramped it up. Their focus, instead of being a run and gun, it's, in and out of cover without there being a cover button.
It's basically a hit the quick save key every 5 seconds, because that's what I had to do. Honestly, the difficulty reminded me a lot of Rise of the Triad. Rise of the Triad, for those who haven't played the original, is an extremely difficult game. Like, that is a proverbial ball buster right there. Even on like
13 is as well.
You haven't played that one as much. I mean, I've beaten it, but I don't remember much about it, to be perfectly honest, because I haven't played it. I played it for the live stream a couple months back, but I haven't actually gone in it just to play it since, like, 2013, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm still trying to beat the Vomitron. That is a hell of a level.
I remember nothing about it, to be perfectly honest.
It's an optional level.
Oh, okay, maybe that's why. Let's see here. And I'm doing great, Hunter. No more massive amounts of overtime. I can actually get more than 5 hours of sleep. Let's see. Blood. Love the cultist burning sound. And TNT Evolution's pretty good, at least from what I remember. I haven't played that in a while, too. I never liked Plutonia, to be perfectly honest. I played that back in the day, but I never liked the level design.
You're not entirely alone there. Plutonia's level design was basically one-trick pony. Let's force you into a situation which is kind of dire. There's just barely enough ammo, there's just barely enough cover, and there's never enough health.
Yeah, and for me, I like Doom to be, a little more forgiving than that. Just a little. Also, we finally got the rocket launcher. Now, one thing that's kind of interesting about rocket launchers that I didn't know about back when this game came out, the rocket launcher in this game is meant to be for, like, clearing debris, but a real rocket launcher doesn't actually blow anything up. It shoots the rocket will hit, like an armored vehicle. And the armored vehicle will get a jet of molten metal shot into it, and that basically, if I'm not mistaken, just incapacitates the crew. Well, kills the crew, I should say.
It turns into chunky salsa.
Yeah. If you ever see like a real rocket launcher being fired at something in real life, it's actually kind of lame compared to what you see in video games and movies. It just like hits it. I don't think there's even an explosion. It just sort of hits it, and then that's it.
Oh, there's an explosion, all right, but not visible from the outside. Basically, it works on the shape charge principle. Basically, inside unless we're talking an RPG, an actual, a law, light anti-tank weapon, works on the principle same as a slam. It's a shaped charge. It takes a plate of copper and turns it essentially into a spear being chased by literal plasma.
So yeah, it's pretty bad. But unfortunately, it doesn't look nearly as pyrotechnical as something in a video game would look.
Well, if you're not inside the turret cupola or driver's seat doesn't. Now, if you're inside that, yeah, it gets very explosive very fast.
Well,
Trust me, you don't want to see inside that tank.
Oh, I fucking brought the PDA up again. Back to blood. Oh yeah. Also, back to our first topic about crappy things. So that whole kickback thing is still going on, apparently.
Oh yes. In fact, we haven't even begun the deposition phase. That happens on the 13th.
That's the internet for you. And apparently, on one of those Me Too notes, some YouTuber that I've never actually heard of him. I just heard of him today. Got Me Too'd, apparently. What was his name? Like Bro Jared or something along those lines?
Pro Jared, and it's not so much that he got Me Too'd, it's the fact that he blocked his wife on Twitter and decided to announce their divorce.
Oh.
And then, yeah, he got caught sending nudes, and he got caught cheating on his wife with the ex-wife of one of his assistants on Normal Boots. Yeah. I got very little sympathy for him, even for the whole Me Too thing, because there's actual proof for some of the accusations.
Like, damn. All I can say is I'm glad I never got that popular on YouTube, because it seems like everybody goes nuts when they get popularity. Because, damn, I think I went in a big circle. I get the feeling I just went in a circle. But it's like, okay, you're gonna cheat, and you're gonna ask for... What is the deal with people wanting nudes these days? I don't understand that. It's like... And then the whole concept of the dick pic, back in my day, we didn't do such things.
Back in my day, we sent postcards of our junk to the mail.
That takes 3 to 6 weeks to regret it. Oh, but yeah. Pro Jared. Why is he popular? Does he make, like, game reviews, movies? I don't even...
He did game reviews, Pokemon Nuzlocke Challenge, and he was doing a Mega Man Legends playthrough, although that's good and dead.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I assume his YouTube channel will probably lose a lot of popularity.
Oh, he bled 100,000 people in one day. Over 100,000 people, actually.
Damn. That was pretty fast. Well, easy come, easy go, I guess. Oh.
And yeah, Vulcan, I would say it's worth the $9, although it'll probably go on sale again very soon.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to mess with the Blood thing. I mean, I've played Blood, like the Duke Nukem thing, and I'm going to review Blood next year. In fact, I've got a number of reviews lined up for next year that are of games like that everybody wants me to review, but I haven't yet. But for me, I don't really care about it that much to really rush it. Oh yeah, this is where we got to find a way to turn off the poison gas, because apparently we don't have enough oxygen. But one of the games I want to review next year, moving on from Me Too and crap like that to more positive things, is Bulletstorm. That is a game that I've always found really hilarious. When it came out over a decade ago, or almost a decade ago, I think.
Almost 10 years ago, yeah.
That's just horrible. But still, everybody overhyped it. Even Miracle of Sound did a song on it, and then within literally a year, everyone forgot about it. No one cared anymore. Then they put Duke Nukem in it and tried to drum up some popularity for that, and then no one cared about it within a year of that. It's just the most generic first-person shooter you can possibly imagine, with a story that is so scattershot, you would think it was 5 different writers trying to do 5 different things and failing at all of them. It's not a horrible game. It's not even horribly written, to be perfectly honest. But it's a game that is utterly unmemorable in every conceivable way.
Unless you like traditional old school, challenge to your shooters, plus, a really bizarre, over-the-top, rewards for different style kills.
That just didn't do it for me, though.
My big regret about it is now, unfortunately, Randy Pitchford has the rights to it. Last person on Earth who's got the rights to it.
Yeah.
They will come to the rescue and be consumed.
See Batman 89 and Batman Returns in theaters.
Use their ships to bring this.
Oh, that's really cool. Although Batman and Robin in theaters. Ugh.
And you will die long before you have
Only if it's one of those theaters that allows whiskey.
Yeah, so hopefully it'll be something like the Alamo Drafthouse equivalent. I still would like to see Batman 89 in theaters. Batman 89 has actually stayed the test of time pretty well, even if some of the miniatures have aged a bit.
Yeah, it's still a good film. Although the non-movable neck on the bat suit, that still gets me.
Yeah, you know, you don't notice it until somebody points it out. And then once somebody points it out, it's like, oh my god. It's like,
There's nothing left for you but a slow death.
Oh, shut up, Intruder. That actually does remind me of something I was thinking about at work today. I would like to see in either a game, a movie... Actually, there is a game that has one, but I'm not going to spoil it. Just talking about that particular character is a spoiler in and of itself. Speaking of which, I do recommend playing the game... oh god, I can't remember. It's a long name. The Magic Steamworks Obscura something or other.
Magica.
No.
Oh no, that's Arcana.
It's the one by Troika Games.
Yeah, Arcana, Magic and Steamworks Obscura.
Yeah, that's the one. I cannot talk about a particular character in that, but because it's a spoiler in and of itself, but that is one of the few games that has a non-villain villain, more or less. But that's
it's actually by the developers of the original Fallout series. They wanted to make something akin to Fallout, but in their own universe. And honestly, I wish I could get in contact with them because I would love to adapt that to a pen and paper role-playing system.
That would be pretty cool. That particular game, you can find that on GOG and it runs pretty well. Basically, it's a steampunk / magic kind of world. They got magic and they have guns. And the plot is quite... The only thing I don't like is the gameplay.
Well, yeah, that's because the system was really rushed on that part. The world is actually great. That's why I would love to adapt it to a pen and paper RPG. The gameplay... it's full of exploits, I'll put it that way.
Yeah, see, I never really, I've never been particularly good at those kind of games, so... there's a particular part in that game where you're trying to get across a bridge, and that fucking... I think it's either an ogre or an orc or something. It's some big bastard. And he killed me so many goddamn times. Even the wolves can kill you! The fucking wolves!
Oh yeah, every encounter in that game is deadly.
So, it's like, a killer DM is running it.
No, more like, say, a Pathfinder or a 3.5 edition Dungeons & Dragons DM is suddenly running Thieves' World. They think the characters are a lot more, spongy and willing to take a hit than they can.
Well, oh god, no. Well, we're kind of screwed in terms of completing the game. Either my save didn't take, or something, because I died and I, lost a massive amount of progress. Like, a lot of progress. This is not the best... I don't know, does this use emulation? I don't remember what the Xbox uses.
Yeah, it uses a software emulation layer.
Okay, it's not the best emulation then. First D&D game, you nearly died from a wolf.
It's believable. Wolf is, if you started out with level 1, I got news for you. A wolf in D&D, young adult wolf is challenge rating 3. You are facing something which is much tougher than you.
See, that's just crazy, though. Dying from a wolf? But I guess
wolves in D&D are like wolves in real life. They are no joke.
I guess that's true. And you don't have a rifle or anything to shoot the bloody things.
There's no need to rush.
And, Shy Boy, there actually is a sort of Wolfenstein movie called SS Doom Trooper. It is more or less a movie adaptation of Return to Castle Wolfenstein. Even the main character looks kind of like BJ. What's kind of funny, though, is the guy that plays not BJ, or Great Value BJ, actually was a character in Stargate SG-1.
And you will die long before you have a chance to warn.
Awesome. Hey, Jack.
SS Doom Trooper. It is a movie that I've wanted to see for many years after it's a movie that you can't actually even, find in unofficial locations. But of all the crappy Sci-Fi Channel movies, it's got to be by far the best. It actually has characters, acting, a plot. The Doom Trooper himself looks exactly like something out of Return to Castle Wolfenstein. I mean, the graphics are spot on.
Yeah, our Sci-Fi Channel, they've already got, a video games division. I would get on making that a game, like, right now.
Yeah. These days, things like that. That actually does remind me, like, where are all the various movie tie-in games? That kind of died. The only movie tie-in things you see anymore are, mobile games, pretty much.
That's mainly because movie tie-ins. Let's be honest with this right now. Right now, all we've got is Disney, and they're notorious spendthrifts.
Yeah. Now, speaking of a movie tie-in, I just saw the trailer for the new Predator game that's supposed to be coming out. It's just a pre-rendered cutscene. There's no gameplay. I was initially kind of like, a Predator game, and then I read the description on the video, and it says basically, enter the Predator world in a competitive multiplayer experience. Yep, basically it looks like it's gonna be Predator meets Fortnite. Yeah, I'm gonna skip that. Yeah, I'm gonna pass.
You see, that's what bums me out is, okay, get with somebody with, like, this is gonna sound heretical for a second, but get with someone like Rockstar. They've already got the Euphoria engine. Use that with, just assets from their city and from Grand Theft Auto. Set it up as a multiplayer Predator game there, where you're playing a tribe of predators on Earth trying to get some of the best hunts in that city. How hard is that? The multiplayer is already there. All you have to do is just change it out to where, okay, you can either play as Predator or Prey. You either be human or yacht. Your choice.
Sadly, that will likely never happen. Let's see. What do I think of Map 27 Mountain of Pain for Final Doom TNT? I don't remember that map, so I don't know. I'd have to look at it. And I've not played Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. I tried a number of years ago. I couldn't finish the tutorial because the game would literally not open a door. And I thought it was fully patched. Evidently it wasn't. So I will need to, mod it. I just haven't had the time in recent months.
I've played the heck out of that game.
Making progress, are we?
So, what did you think of it?
Even when it's fully patched, even when it's fan-patched, it's still a utterly jank game. But that being said, there are certain utterly jank games which go above and beyond to make itself good. That, like Stalker, is one of those games. It is broken, it is buggy, it is janky, it's barely held together with paper clips, duct tape, and staples. But damn if it doesn't just work. As in terms of atmosphere, not in terms of engine. Engine, my god, that's hilariously broken. In terms of atmosphere and overall game experience, once you get into it, there's very little like it.
Well, it is a Troika game after all, so... And they were good at what they did. They just never had the budget, the time, or the manpower. Let's see, the map has a bad reputation. I don't know anything about it. Elder Scrolls or Fallout. Now that's a hard question to answer. I don't know. Because they both have their merits.
Are we including the whole game series on both, or selected games?
I imagine the whole game series.
Whole game series, I'm going to have to go with the Elder Scrolls. Selected games, go Fallout.
Yeah, I can concur with that. Just because when it comes to Fallout, there's only 2 games in the Fallout series I actually like, and that's 3 in New Vegas, whereas Elder Scrolls, I like... Oh, just 2 in that as well, 4 and 5. Morrowind, I still can't get into. And, yeah, I don't think Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be worth playing. Maybe I'll be wrong. We'll see.
Well, Morrowind with mods, like open Morrowind with combat mods, where you actually hit as opposed to the invisible dice roll, I think you might like.
Yeah, see, then I would just need time to actually play it. That's the one problem with having, you know, a life, is that you never have time to play any games anymore. Oh, crap. See, like, the Revenant in this game really isn't very big in comparison to what it was in Doom 2. It's barely bigger than you are.
Yeah, it's not conducive to, you know, running up like a thin-screened out cheetah like you would in the original Doom series. It's more, okay, you have to fight differently. You have to fight using your environment, otherwise you are going to die a lot.
That is a fact. This would be another good VR game, though.
Yep. Yeah, it could be very well done in VR.
You're one Doom Space Marine.
We'll see if he is in a Doom Eternal. Let's hope Bethesda hasn't screwed it up. You never know. Found you by your Doom review. That video was fun to watch. Really good laugh from the Satan part. Yeah, that was pretty good.
I think Doom 3 is fine as like a standalone thing. I don't know. I just think Doom 64, same idea, but done better.
I don't know. I didn't like Doom 64 that much, to be honest.
I'm a fan, but I can understand where it comes from. It's a very divisive game.
It's not bad, it's just... It's one of those things where, like, you have stuff of such high quality, when you say you don't really like it, it's like, well, what's wrong with it? It's like, well, there's nothing wrong with it, it's just, I don't like it that much.
Yeah, that's what I say. It's very divisive. Either you're completely into it, or you walk away like, oh, it's good, but it's not my thing.
Yeah.
In all honesty, there really is no bad Doom game yet.
Yeah, don't say that.
No, there has been a bad Doom game.
Which?
The Doom RPG for mobile phones.
Was that officially done? Like.
Yep, that's an official game. It's not great. It's not like, oh my god, this is so freaking terrible. It's just, did we really need a first-person, you know, RPG Doom?
I didn't even know that existed. So yeah. So I guess that could be the bad one. I remember I mentioned a game back in 2009. Crap. That was for like iOS. I had no idea what it was then. Is that the one you're talking about?
No, this was for the. This was, you know, it's like the old Nokia phones, not like the black and white Nokia phones, the dumb phones, all the phones before 2007.
Oh.
So the game is dead and buried where it belongs.
Just
like Nokia.
Yes and no. There is
Okay.
Nokia is actually still a company, and they're still actually producing okay stuff. Not smartphones, but okay stuff.
I'll always remember them from the Matrix.
Oh yeah, speaking of the Matrix, finally got my Beretta 92! After all these years. I'll go get it out in a moment, but...
Well, I watched your video.
Oh. So what'd you think?
You're like, you're just gonna hold up to the rest of the live stream. I'm playing Doom 3. Which would be kind of hard to do, but...
Yeah, I would need like a third hand, and I'm not a mutant.
To play with your feet and the controller.
Hey, you know there's some people who can do that.
I can only do that with Street Fighter and Virtua Fighter, and I have to use my stick.
Mutant! Purge the unclean!
Do-do-do-do-do.
Oh no, it was done as a challenge back in the day. It was basically, okay, weirdest way you can play X fighting game. It was like, okay, well, I can play Soul Calibur versus some opponents blindfolded, and I can play Virtua Fighter 3, Team Battle version to be specific, because that's my favorite version, with an arcade stick with my feet.
No, I probably did that with the NES Advance.
That is quite nutty. Also, we've got the Beretta 92, Big D. And just to make sure it's empty, you can't even see it. There you go. My thought is this, though. If it's not empty, and like I end up shooting my own wall, who cares? The only problem is,
No, the person behind that wall might.
well, yeah,
And
but
you would be like memed forever.
that's true. But I always make sure to check these things before I go anywhere near the trigger. But yeah, this thing is absolutely excellent. I really quite like it. I gotta get a new spring for this, but the spring's nice and cheap. Gonna get one more mag, and then I'm just gonna practice with this quite a bit. Very, very nice though. Got it off a Gunbroker. Never actually used Gunbroker before, but it turned out pretty good.
And yeah, if it wasn't good, I would not own 2 of them.
You didn't buy it off a shady Craigslist ad? No, I'm kidding.
No, I think that'd be illegal if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that you can't do that. Craigslist will strike it down.
Okay.
I wasn't being serious.
I know.
Recently picked
I'm
up.
just saying for legal reasons and for any, any YouTube staff who might be watching, you cannot buy firearms through Craigslist.
And this was a PSA from Rain. Don't do it. You'll probably get arrested because it'll probably be a sting anyways.
Speaking
Oh,
of
I
which,
guarantee you it'll be a sting.
Yeah.
and speaking of which, there was a whole bunch of illegal firearms seized in California. I wonder
Yeah,
what.
but these are the same people who, as I've made a video on, these are the same people who bought a law trainer tube, thinking, oh, it's a rocket launcher. No, it has all the circuitry removed, and it has the word trainer spray painted on it. I couldn't make a bong out of that thing.
Yeah. Then again, this is California, so you can't expect too much.
But the
Oh.
best I could do with a empty law tube is make a really awesome lamp. That's about it.
Couldn't even turn it into like a tennis ball launcher.
Yeah, I could probably do it, but it's going to have tubes running off of it. Now you got me thinking. I'm trying. Okay, where am I going to put a Sheridan valve?
I have no idea what that is.
Basically, it's what controls the high pressure, compressed air or CO2 to launch the tennis ball or T-shirt or whatever you put down in it.
Yeah, I never actually was able to get any of those things to work, so yeah. That's something that I guess kids don't really do much today, is like build stuff like that anymore. Which is sad. People these days, all they have are their video games. Oh wait, we had video games. They have their
Yeah, we had the best video games.
yeah.
They didn't have microtransactions. They were actually finished, and the bugs were actually surprisingly pretty low.
Which is kind of nuts when you think about it. Unrelated to everything, I ended up finally playing some of Croc. For those who don't have any idea what I'm talking about, Croc was a game that came out, I think, like a couple months before Mario 64 did. It's a little 3D platformer where you play as, well, a croc. And as a Morphic Croc, it's actually a lot of fun, although the controls could be better.
It was originally supposed to be Argonaut's entry into making a Yoshi game, but Nintendo said, no, we're going to work on something different.
Holy crap, how many imps are in that bloody thing?
I played the demo many moons ago.
I thought it was pretty good. At least from what little I played, and there's a zombie. Let's see. Yeah, we had Quake, Blood, Doom, all the Star Wars games, so yeah. The game was made, companies made sure they did it right. Yeah, they don't do that anymore.
Well, they had to, because they couldn't update their games. I remember up until 1997, your internet experience, I'll say up until, your internet experience up until 1997 was very, very limited, and up until late 96, if you were on the internet, you didn't have a search engine. You either knew the site, or you didn't go.
That in of itself is something that is an alien concept to many. I barely remember that.
Dude, I remember before getting on the internet and just picking up a Yellow Pages and just going through BBS and dialing into those.
Yeah,
yeah.
if I ever get the time, I want to run my own BBS based off my Commodore 64.
Excellent. Yeah, that's what I used too. I had a Commodore 64 before actual desktop.
Dial-up isn't dead, though. For those who may be wondering, it's still used in some businesses, simply because today I heard the the dial-up sound effect. I was like, what? Are we
Well,
still using dial-up?
That could have been for your fax machine or something.
Oh, probably.
Well, faxes definitely will not die because that's a government requirement if you're in any form of... If you can contact the government, like say if you're contacting the FBI or say if you sell firearms, you have to have a fax machine.
I did not know that. It's like... Well, dial-up will never die, I guess. Well, I mean, the IRS computer, damn IRS, is still using 60s software, so yeah.
Yeah. And there is parts of the world where they don't have cable and the phone lines aren't good enough for DSL, and wireless doesn't reach either. Sometimes you have the alternative of satellite internet. That's still around too.
Yeah, but I can tell you from what my
It's
brother
ass.
pays, it's fairly fast for what it is, but good lord is it expensive.
Yeah. Yes, yes. Or the latency though, like
Oh, your
No
incoming latency is not bad at all. Your outgoing is terrible.
right.
So, the internet. Crap. Let's see. Yeah, Nega Scott. Pro Jared. I didn't even know who he was until today. But he done fucked up bad, it seems.
Yeah.
Actually, let me pull up his social blade and see what he's at in terms of losses.
Random question. Best Judas Priest song. Ooh, that's a hard one. Painkiller's
All of
good.
them are good. Painkiller is, from a drummer's perspective, Painkiller is both ungodly gorgeous and it's a nightmare.
I can imagine, so. Because I do remember that.
Holy crap! Okay. He has lost over 144,505 viewers as of me saying this.
Holy. That's. Well, that's what happens when you fuck about in a non-good way.
The thing is, his wife was actually pretty good looking. She's a cosplayer and a damn good one at it. She's quite skilled at what she does. And let me put it, this is going to be PG as in terms of language, but it's going to be non-PC. Absolutely on-PC. This chinless moron dumped a Miami 7 for a Philly 3.
I have to take your word for that, because I don't know what that means.
Basically, you have the hotness scale, 1 to 10. And you know as well as I do, if you're in a beach town, that number skews a lot different.
Oh, yeah.
Say,
okay, I
yeah,
gotcha.
you get me. Like, say, New York City, 4 in the south, she's a 1. Same goes for guys, too. I'm not being sexist here. This is just a general hotness guide. Whatever you like, that's what you like. But you know very well, if, you take New York City 10 and, you go down to Miami, she's going to be hovering around an 8.
Well, I don't know what Pro Jared even looks like, so...
He didn't win the genetic lottery. He looks like Spoonie banged Steve Buscemi, and that was a love child.
Yeah, I did not need that mental image. Oh, dearie me.
Oh, Raynick, you win the internet for today.
Oh yeah, we got the demon babies. That's good timing. Because, holy crap, this is like the creepiest enemy from Doom ever, the demon babies. And like, they even sound creepy. So, we're just gonna call them Pro Jared for right now.
Hey, as long as they don't want to touch you in inappropriate places, that's fine.
They are trying to touch me in inappropriate places.
Well, that's what you got the chain gun for.
And they take a lot of damage, too. Alright, we got the old plasma gun here. Well, actually, we're changing it from Cherubs to Pro Jareds for today. In his honor. His honor.
Changing subject. Have you guys heard of Lab City in, California?
No. Or I haven't.
No. It was a military base or something, and like a bunch of weird stuff happened. Anyway, it's like the last place in the U.S. with like no laws. It's like a small desert land that people live. A lot of druggy stuff.
Oh, it's like...
But there's also a lot of interesting artsy stuff. It's really interesting. I just looking it up.
Okay. That sounds like something from a movie, though.
Right? That's what I was thinking.
Although
No, I don't want to give my ideas in the public live stream.
Although, to be honest, I thought you said Flab City, not Slab City. I was like, oh god, it's like some sort of nerdist beach where like the fat people go so they can just have their guts hanging out or something, you know?
Well, I mean, if you want to run around naked, I guess you could, because there's no laws there.
I know, but it was like, Flab City sounds... Honestly, Flab City sounds more plausible than some desert druggy city thing.
There's nothing really there. It's just basically the weather is always dry, so you can have whatever the heck you want out there, and
I'm pretty sure...
It's like a hippie commune, except there's nothing there except for hippie communes and communists.
Oh, God. I think I'll pass on going to Slab or Flab City.
Flab City just reminds me of what would happen when you go to a nude beach, and before anyone asks, yes, I have been to a few nude beaches.
So basically they look like this guy here.
Some do, not all.
I really do like the redesigned Mancubus. That thing looks really fucking scary.
So, yeah. Oh, I was gonna say, I believe there is a chunk of Flab City that is put into GTA 5, if I'm not mistaken.
Parts of it, yeah, but not a lot.
Right.
That and the fact that even the most diseased outskirts in GTA 5 have law enforcement. You start pulling people up, you're gonna get cops on you.
Crap. Oh. Now, one thing I did want to bring up during this live stream was a book I listened to last Saturday. So, like, yeah, last Saturday I had to work, so I was listening to one of my audiobooks. It was an audiobook that I hoped was going to be good. Oh boy, it was something. Okay, you know, I've talked about fanfic a lot on this channel. This was actually what's called official fanfic. This was something that was published. This is actually, sadly, not even infamous. This is something that people like. I'm not really sure why. So, a bit of explanation. There's a series of books called the Monster Hunter International series, written by Larry Corey. I've actually met him in real life. He actually did a thing in Houston, and I actually saw him and talked to him. And he's a really cool guy. Monster Hunter is basically, think vampires, werewolves, basically all the various fantasy monsters. They exist on the planet, and they gotta be, you know, killed, because they want to kill all the humans. So you've got Monster Hunter International. They're one of a bunch of monster hunting companies, and they're trying to, you know, stop werewolves and vampires from killing everyone. It's a really good series, follows a bunch of really cool characters. And then, John Ringo. John Ringo was once a writer I really liked, but don't anymore. And this is the book that really clinched it. So John Ringo is really popular. He is one of the, what I like to call Republican science fiction writers. Think science fiction, but written by somebody from, you know, a more, shall we say, Republican background. So, you know, everything's very pro-military, everything's very pro all the various Republican talking points. That's fine. When I read one of his actual good books, I was like, oh my god, a book written for me! And I'm not even like Mr. Super Republican either, but the fact is, though, he's one of those. Now, he liked Larry Corey's work and wanted to write in his universe. Oh god. Oh god, it's bad. Okay, if you... Okay, Rain and Rage, when you think of fanfic, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
You're gonna laugh at me for this, but it's actually Coda from, you know, the ex-writer of the Elder Scrolls.
Okay, bad fanfic. Bad
fanfic?
Yeah, okay, not good fanfic, bad fanfic.
Well, I wouldn't call Coda good.
Death will not be your end. Your
But
fanfic.
usually it'll go from, you know, bad to, oh my god, why am I reading My Immortal?
This is basically My Immortal, but with guns. Okay?
Whoa.
Oh, where to even start? Okay, so remember Republican science fiction, and Republican science fiction can be good, except when they basically do the same thing that SJW writers do, and he does the same thing that SJW writers do. There is so much straw that you can fucking start a fire. Okay, that's the best I got. It is okay. So first off, we've got a new character, original character, do not steal, and the book is not set in the modern day. It's set in the 1980s. Now, this could be good, right? No. Original character, do not steal. Now, there's several things you gotta keep in mind. John Ringo is old, and I think he doesn't like being old. Because, oh my god, this character. So, the first thing is this. The character's name is Chad. I'm not even joking. It's Chad. Alright, so his parents are the most stereotypical liberals you can possibly get. They're college professors. You know, they love communism. All kinds of stuff like that, right? Now, Chad here is good at everything. And when I mean everything, I mean he's good at everything. And he's attractive. Okay? So he knows all the languages. Every language. Okay? He learns Kendo by age 8 somehow.
Yeah, no.
Oh, it's gonna get better. No, I'm not even at the good part yet. Okay, so he knows Kendo by age 8. He goes in the Marines and is like the best Marine ever, and isn't afraid of anything. So he is. For those who don't know, there was a Marine barracks blown up in Beirut in the 1980s, and of course he was in it, and he gets blown up. But he is such an awesome guy that St. Peter literally brings him back to life to fight monsters. I'm not even joking. That's not even the worst part yet. Okay, so he's brought back to life to fight monsters, but literally by St. Peter, no less. Okay, now this is already beyond Mary Sue, but it's gonna get worse. Okay, so he comes back to America. He does all his, physical training to get back into physical fitness, right? After getting blown up. In the hospital, his liberal mother shows up and says, it was fully justified, blah, 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 blah. It's like, come on, John Ringo, please. That wouldn't happen in real life. They wouldn't have let her in, but whatever. Because he's got to get that liberal's bad message in, which, I can understand.
Is this all taken seriously? There's no, comedy with this?
No, this is 100% serious. And I'm not even there yet. I'm not even to the worst part yet. So, he's back in America, right? And he is just driving down the street in his muscle car, because of course he has a muscle car, that he got in high school, no less, that he calls the Honey Badger. Yes, he calls his car the Honey Badger. He stops and his car just stops in front of a zombie thing. There's like a bunch of zombies attacking people. And with a .22 caliber converted 1911, he's able to fight 50 zombies. He just fights 50 zombies. It's no big deal. I mean, that's easy, right? Now keep in mind, a .22 caliber converted 1911 can only hold 8 rounds.
And it's not the most reliable of conversions.
But he's awesome.
So this hero has no flaws.
Oh no, he does not. And it gets worse. I'm not even to the bad part yet. Okay, so he does that, and so he gets invited to work with monsters. Oh, ooh! I gotta explain this too. Okay, so there's a character that's recurring throughout the series named Franks. Spoiler alert: he's Frankenstein. Okay. And he's this big, badass motherfucker who's a real asshole. Like, he literally is just the biggest asshole. There's a whole book that's centered around him that's really well written, but that was a Korea book. Anyway, and of course, everybody hates him, and he hates everybody. Guess what happens? Well, hero dude, Chad, meets up with Frankenstein, right? And Frankenstein is like, you're okay, man. It's like, oh, come on. It gets worse. So he gets invited to join Monster Hunter International. And there's a whole chapter devoted to him literally learning all the martial arts Batman style before even joining Monster Hunter International. He learns Kendo, Karate, Taekwondo, all of this. But it gets
Taekwondo
worse.
is one of the last martial arts you want to learn if you're going off to get something which isn't humanoid.
Oh, no. That's not even the worst part yet. Oh, I'm not even to the 12-year-old part yet. Okay, the 12-year-old fantasy? Okay. So, he buys all the guns. He even, gets a Colt Python and everything. But not only does he buy all the guns, he invents the guns too. He has a whole chapter devoted to how he improved the Uzi by filing down. Yeah, he improved the Uzi by filing down all the parts to make it the most accurate and reliable Uzi ever.
You're not going to increase accuracy in an Uzi by filing down anything. It's an open bolt firearm.
It's like a ridiculous, serious take on Ash from Army of Darkness.
I'm not even to the bad part yet. Okay, so he does all this, okay, and then another chapter is devoted to him getting. Okay, how can I go worse than this? Let's see if you guys can guess it. How can I go worse than this? It's a weapon. I'm not gonna tell you what weapon, but what weapon would make this complete?
A katana.
He gets a katana sword! And the whole chapter is devoted to saying, the katana is the best sword ever. It can cut through steel. Okay? And he then literally describes cutting through a vampire's head in one swipe, or neck, with one swipe of the katana sword. And the katana is named the dumbest name ever. It's like Midnight's Edge or something. Or like, it's something, I almost said a word that I probably shouldn't say on the internet, but you probably can imagine it starts with an R. Okay, he's got its magical, and it's a magical katana too. There's a whole chapter like the swordsmith for the guy basically made the best sword ever and then died. So yeah.
So he watched Kill Bill once and was like, "Oh yeah, Hattori Hanzo sword, okay."
Oh, and here's where
but
it
he forgot the Hattori part. Was like, "Oh, samurai sword."
I need whiskey after this.
Oh, then it gets even better. Okay, so he's got his katana sword, right? And he goes to Monster Hunter International, and of course, they immediately love him and want him to join the premier monster hunting team. And the final part about how stupid this guy is the fact that he fucks literally every female that moves, and all the women love him and want him forever. And there is a line in this book that I'll never forget, because it's so painful. He literally, describing this chick he just banged, says, she could, and I'm quoting here, this isn't a book, somebody got paid for this. Somebody got paid a lot for this, okay?
Somebody is a smooth talker, because this is sounding like just absolute scammage.
He literally says, in the book, she could suck the chrome off a bumper.
He got the saying wrong. She could suck the chrome off a trailer hitch.
It was just so bad. And it's like, I don't know why.
It actually insults me he got the saying wrong. That's how bad it is. That's a saying that's been around since the 1960s.
It's, yeah. It's pretty horrible.
And learning all the martial arts. Okay, I know a few martial arts. I'm not, some...
Oh, wait. One more second. I almost forgot. And he also learned ballet! So he could be Mr. Limber and pick up chicks.
Okay, if you wanted to be Mr. Limber, he could have taken up yoga.
Oh, he also did that too. He did that too. I'm not even joking. He also does that. He said he was taking... he said he took...
Does he have a man bun?
I don't know, but... Yeah, I mean...
We can assume. Right next to his fedora.
He doesn't have a fedora,
which isn't a fedora. It's a trilby.
But he's got a fucking katana sword. I couldn't finish the book. I could not finish it. In fact, where's my phone? I was listening to
it. And Silverwing's DDP yoga is actually quite good. It's actually a heck of a workout.
You should finish it so we can hear the rest of it next week.
Well, it was just so painful though, because and he literally was in no danger whatsoever. He was like fighting like a high-level vampire. He kills it in one fucking hit with his magical katana. Like in other books, that's like a whole book right there is fighting a vampire.
Hey, here's the thing. I've taken multiple martial arts, and I'm a black belt. Which, if you know anything about martial arts, being a black belt just means, okay, you're not likely to kill yourself. That's it. There are ranks much higher than black belt. And I actually do know how to use a katana. I took Ronin Mahoney Ryu Iaijutsu, which, you know, did it as a hobby. And I do enjoy Kendo, Kenjutsu, and Iaijutsu as a hobby. For actual sword-based martial arts, I'm going to revert to HEMA. Specifically Germanic style sword fighting with an arming sword, not a katana. Simply because, alright, I do enjoy Kenjutsu, I do enjoy Kendo. But here's a problem with that. In today's day and age, if you're ever in a situation where you have to wield a sword-like object, or God help you, a sword, you could be pretty much guaranteed that your opponent is not going to fight fair. At all.
At least I wouldn't think. But see, you're not as cool as Chad, though. He learned all the martial arts, and he has a katana. Oh, I forgot again. The magical Uzi he made is a 45 caliber.
Magical Uzi?
Well, it's basically a magic
car now?
You can't file down an Uzi to make it more accurate, so of course, apparently, it has to be magical. That's the only way this crap's ever going to fly.
He basically gives the magic Uzi to MHI so they can have a useful submachine gun for fighting vampires, right? And he literally in the book is like, well, if you've ever had your life saved by an Uzi, you can thank me. It's like, oh my god, just stop.
Sorry, Lotz, you're gonna have to light your phone on fire now.
And here's the thing. There actually is such a thing as a 45 caliber Uzi. And he sure as fuck didn't invent it.
Oh, but yeah, I mean, Chad. It's like, I just can't believe his name's Chad, though. Because you know the joke about Chad and the Sarah, or whatever the thing is? The memes?
Yeah.
Oh,
There is a 45 caliber Uzi. It's very simple. It's just a conversion kit, barrel, and bolt base. It uses the same style magazines, though with a different follower. And they do actually work. It's an open bolt machine gun. You're not going to get accuracy out of open bolt because you're always fighting it and you're firing it. But it's not inaccurate either. It's one of those that there's nothing you can do to accurize an Uzi outside of make it semi-auto and make it closed bolt, which you can do, but you sacrifice full auto.
Oh, also, he was on a run, just his morning run, and a werewolf just attacks him, of all people, and he shoots it once in the head with his 45. He just does it. Once again, fighting a werewolf in this universe is supposed to be like a book level event. Like, this is a big deal. For him, it's like, oh, it's a werewolf, boom, whatever. I'm awesome. Oh, he also, when he turns down the prestigious team, he turns it down because he thinks it's too hot where it's at. It's in Georgia. And so he goes to Seattle. Okay, nothing wrong with Seattle, but he goes to Seattle and he basically becomes a... What's the best way to put this guy? He's not an SJW. Imagine a Republican SJW, more or less. I guess it's the best way.
SJWs can exist on both sides. In this case, he would be near, I would say radical right more than anything else, if you're going by that. But I don't know how radical he is. I don't know what his beliefs are.
Well, basically, okay, here's the funny part. He also converts to Catholicism, which there's nothing wrong with that, but he also loves to just fuck all the women. How many women? All the women.
Well, that goes against Catholicism.
Yeah, but then he tries to justify it by saying, well, Jesus doesn't care about that, just so long as you are, like, nice to people. But then he uses, like, fake names with the chicks that he fucks. And I'm thinking, like, wait a minute. You are literally the biggest asshole in the world. There's a hilarious scene. A hilarious scene where, like, he goes to a sushi restaurant. Now, also, by this point, he's, like, 25, knows all the martial arts, can speak fluent Japanese, but hasn't heard of sushi. Are you joking?
No, it doesn't work that way.
And so,
if you know the name, you would have known the cuisine.
And so, he likes the sushi, right? And he meets two, attractive Japanese women and pretends like he's... And I'm not... I'd love to be making this up, but I'm not. He says he's the American voice actor for Kenshiro.
I would not be claiming that at all. The original dubs for Fist of the North Star, the Streamline Pictures dubs, were god's awful.
Well, you know, but he's so awesome, though. He, like, in this universe, he made it awesome. But it's like, there's that, and then there's a whole side plot with him, like, fighting the Yakuza. Because when I think Monster Hunters, I think fighting Yakuza. And, like, he cuts off a Yakuza member's head with his katana in one swipe, and everybody loves him for it.
Okay, if he's fighting Yakuza, which, you know, if you know Japanese, you should at least know the cuisine and the customs. You figure that, okay, why is he fighting Yakuza? Do they have yokai there? I mean...
Yeah, they do. If that's like the spider that can, like, transform into other people, then yeah.
Well, that's one yokai. Yokai is just basically their version of monsters. Which would make sense because Monster Hunter International.
But it's just the fact that it's like, he fights the Yakuza and the Yakuza guy likes him. He's like, you are a worthy opponent. It's like, really? Come on.
Once again, he saw parts of Kill Bill and borrowed some elements from it.
The book is 1,400 pages long.
Or
I mean,
other martial arts stuff, and not like Yakuza just but
yeah,
he brought up Unstoppable Samurai Sword and goes like...
It's just, it's a 1,400 page long book. I got to 792 and just had to stop.
You were listening to the audio version, right?
Yeah, well, see, I got a text-to-speech app, so I take the ebook and turn it into an audiobook, basically.
Oh.
It's really cool. I forgot. He's trying to, at that point, stop a human trafficking deal. Because, remember, Monster Hunter, but that. So, yeah. So now he's basically Magnum P.I., but he also fights monsters. It is the shittiest book I've ever read. The absolute crappiest.
I don't know if I've read worse. I mean, that's going to be subjective. Both are pretty bad. You got that, which sounds absolutely dreadful. And I unfortunately read Atlas Shrugged. Okay, here's something for the audience. I'm an independent, and I actually do believe in Austrian economics, which is the cornerstone of libertarianism. I'm not a full libertarian, nor will I ever be, because I'm not an ANCAP, and ANCAPs are not libertarians, by the way. They're just anarchists. Main reason I choose to say I'm not libertarian is the fact that I don't like labels. I am a constitutionalist. I'm an independent. I'm for, small government, right person for the right job. That's it. But, my God, Ayn Rand is a horrible, horrible writer, and she does not understand how humanity works. She gets some things right, but, broken clocks are right twice a day.
I've never actually read any of that, but it's always kind of funny that it's funny you should bring up Atlas Shrugged. Oh yeah, one more thing about that shit book. He also really, 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 really loves Ronald Reagan. Like, really loves him.
As someone who remembers the Reagan administration, like every president before him and after, I'm mixed on him. There are certain things that Reagan did really well, and there are certain things Reagan should have been able to do really well, but unfortunately the kibosh was put on it. I'm talking about the SDI initiative. That should have been taken very seriously, but wasn't. But I just don't understand why people worship him. He was, as presidents go, he was not bad. He was certainly one of the better presidents of my lifetime. That being said, there's some things that Reagan did kind of stupid. Here's amendment.
There's that and a few other things, but it's like Reagan. One of the reasons why I don't consider myself a Republican is because if you're a Republican, you have to absolutely love everything he ever did, and he was the greatest 111. And I don't really go for that. It's because a president's a president. That's the thing. Okay, I don't want to get political after just talking about the crappy fanfic. But I do want to mention something, though. I've been debating whether or not I should say this or not, but I want to anyway. My biggest problem with current politics, other than just the obvious crap, is, you know, people idolize Turnip way too much. I don't think he's particularly bad, and I do appreciate that tax cut. But
I think he's the best president we've had in, you know, since the 1980s. He's that being said, being the best doesn't mean you cannot do no wrong. Simple as. He's fallible. He's human. And Skeptical Plague Doctor, are you really? When you get down to it, because I'll IM you and talk to you about that.
Everybody is forgetting in general. You can disagree with people and still get along, you know, and still be human. You know, like it's okay to have disagreements and be an adult. You know, like some people like the president, some people don't. Life goes on. You know, to shout at each other like, "You son of a bitch! You destroyed the fucking world!" It's like, whoa, 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 whoa,
Yeah.
whoa. No.
Yeah, these days, if you say something that somebody doesn't entirely agree with, you'd swear you just kick the throat of their mother.
yeah. Also, if you
But
hear that
it's not
loud,
just politics. It's also, you know, fandoms and stuff too. It's like everyone just, well, calm the fuck down.
exactly. If you hear that loud crap in the background, it's because somebody's putting up a fence. Let's see. Nationalism is not a government. That's true. Make it stop. Katana's overrated. Yeah, I'd say that.
Katana's not really overrated. It's actually a pretty good sword. What's overrated is all the people thinking, "Oh my god, is it something great sword?" No. The reason they folded the steel was because Japan at the time, metallurgically, did not have crucibles worthy of making, a good single layer steel. They had to fold to get impurities out. Is it capable of cutting through steel? Hell no. No sword is.
But according to Chad, they folded it over so many times to make it cut like a micron or something. It was so stupid.
No, folding does not do that. Sharpening can, but, there's a difference between sharpening by hand and sharpening by machine. And, well, I enjoy sharpening by hand. I'm going to tell you this right now. Making a knife, a sword, an axe, whatever. You could be making a razor. The sharpening by machine is a lot more precise.
But you don't look as cool if you sharpen it with a machine. If you've got your kimono on and all the rest. I don't even know if guys wear kimonos. I'm just going to assume they do.
Yeah, there's male kimonos, but you're not going to have back in the day, the people forging the sword, they're not going to be wearing a kimono.
No.
It gets in the way, it's going to get smashed, it's going to get burnt, it's going to get torn. You're not going to like this, but the more common thing to wear when making a sword back then, other than an apron, is a loincloth.
Ew.
That's it.
Ew. Did not need to know that.
Oh, you're swinging around a hammer and a set of tongs around, a red-hot piece of, carbon and iron that you're trying to turn into steel. I would rather have a leather apron, get a few marks on it, than I would a silk kimono, which is going to catch on fire and stick.
And you're going to be putting up a storm too.
Exactly.
And yes, Skeptical Plague Doctor. Yeah, we're not going to talk about politics anymore, but I just wanted to bring that up, because I just get so sick of seeing all that. It's like, come on, people.
Yeah.
Let's get mad.
We all get our dose of politics, and, well, honestly, you need a break.
We hardly went into politics. I think we pretty much said, well, the truth, chill out, people. Shit.
Yeah, exactly. And how much? I think I saw somebody asked how much I paid for this game. I paid for it was like $10, but this was a game from 10 years ago. Well, I bought this copy of Doom 3 about 10 years ago. It should still be cheap though. I wouldn't imagine.
Yeah, there was common printing.
And let's see. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I've not actually read it.
Oh,
but
go read it. Go get the BBC audio drama, and then watch the BBC TV version, because they're 3 different stories. Same characters, different stories.
I still need to actually read that stuff, or watch it or listen to it. I know there's also some audio dramas as well.
Here's the thing. I thoroughly enjoy and love the books. I cannot, unfortunately, listen to the audio drama anymore because it's not because it's bad. In fact, quite the opposite. I enjoy the hell out of it. Problem is, I had a friend of mine who used to DJ, and he would always close out with an episode of that and the theme song. Unfortunately, he died from cancer about 4 years back, and every time I hear that, and I gotta admit, it's hard, but I'm choking back tears when I hear it.
Oh, damn. Well, that sucks. And that escalated quickly. So moving right along.
He was a really big fan of it, and I gotta admit, I shared the fandom with him. So, it's Douglas Adams. You're going to laugh your ass off, and chances are, unless you've been just so mired by life, you're going to enjoy it. It's one of those things that it will make you laugh. It's designed to be incredibly sharp and incredibly funny.
I will have to take a look at that at some point. Nixon's back. Started watching in 2016 when Doom 2016 came out. Well, you got a lot of backlog to look at. Let's see. That being said, I think I saw up there as well Django versus Boba. Boba Fett never got much character development until the end, and really he was kind of an asshole. He was a legitimate anti-hero when he actually finally got some characterization. Django was a slightly better character just because he actually got the character development. I mean, I'm going to be talking about Django this month, actually, when I get the Bounty Hunter review done. Django Fett's an interesting character in that, he started out as like a slave and then worked his way back up to being, free, and then finally took revenge upon the slavers. It's really cool. The Bounty Hunter video game was quite good as well, where you got some more characterization. It'd be nice if Boba Fett had actually gotten his own game, but the fever dream of a madman, I suppose. But yeah, Boba Fett is an interesting concept, but he never actually got developed all that much. And Jango Fett's an interesting character in that he's one of those non-villain villains. He's a true neutral in many respects.
He just cares about the paycheck.
Yeah, so he's not... Oh god, I'm going to quote Wreck-It Ralph. But just because he's a bad guy doesn't mean he's a bad guy. Zangief...
Got problems with that scene.
I know, I was going to say, Zangief, you're not actually a villain, just so you know.
He's never been a villain.
Yeah, it's like... Zangief, you were actually not even a villain. You were kind of a bad guy in the movie, but not in the game. Whatever.
Even in the movie, he wasn't a bad guy because he was just fooled into, helping Bison.
Yeah, I was gonna give it to Wreck-It Ralph though, just because I guess I could see why they'd be confused, but yeah, even in the movie, it's kind of stretching. That movie is not that bad. Okay, it's not very good.
The sequel is.
Yeah, but we don't talk about Chun-Li. We do not speak about Chun-Li and the legend thereof. If you've never seen Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li, think whatever god you may or may not believe in that you haven't, because it's pretty horrible. I think the biggest problem with that movie is it's just boring. More than anything else. I mean, it's bad, but it's one of those boring kind of bads where you can sit there for like 5 minutes and it feels like 6 hours have gone by.
It's a life leech. It basically sucks any energy and goodwill you had and just absolutely destroys them.
Boba Fett FPS, that would be cool. Let's see. Zangief, and then there's Bowser.
What sucks life out of you? What?
The Chun-Li movie.
Oh, the Street Fighter one?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, just be glad you haven't seen that.
Van Damme one, mini.
Well, the Van Damme one's pretty good. I mean, it's
Roll
not...
Julia. That's all I gotta say.
Oh, even Van Damme had some pretty good lines, too.
Or that one moment where the truck's about to crash into the building. Or the DV, whatever, that was great.
No, he's like, he says change
the channel.
Oh, I changed it. My bad.
I also like some of the lines that Jean-Claude gets, like, I'm going to get on my boat and kick Bison's ass. So, it was delightfully cheesy for what it was. How do I rank Doom 3 compared to the other Doom games? Let's see. I go Doom Classic, this one, Brutal Doom, and then 2016.
See, I'm a bit different. I do Classic, Doom 64, Doom 3. That being said, there is not much of a gap between any of those. I love them all pretty much equally.
Yeah, they are quite good. Maul versus Boba Fett. I don't know which one could actually win. Boba Fett's pretty bad when it comes to fighting Jedi. However, his father was much better, though.
His father at least realized, hey, wait, flamethrowers are a good idea versus Jedi.
Oh, that reminds me of that Spoonie video where he was the Jedi hunter and just fried one.
Never fried one in the games, though I did use what is equivalent to a shotgun on one.
Well, that works too. Back when Spoonie was actually alive. At least in video form. See, a lot of people, whenever I do bring up Spoonie, nobody really remembers him at this point. It's like...
It's because he kind of fell from the zeitgeist. You got some people who remember him, but... sadly, he's off in his own little world, dealing with a totaled car, and, yeah.
Well, at least he hasn't been Me Too'd yet, although I'm sure something like that will come about.
Actually, he was. That's part of the reason why he got out of Channel Awesome.
Really? He actually did do something? I thought he just posted a thing saying...
No. Being Me Too doesn't mean you have to do something. It just basically means you get the accusation.
Oh, okay. Because I know they complained about him saying he'd lock somebody up in his dungeon.
Basement love them their way, yeah.
Yeah. Although what I find amusing about that, though, is the person he was talking about is no longer a chick. So there's that.
He only got shit done while he was working, and after he left.
Oh no, he got stuff done after he left Channel Awesome. He got a lot done when he was left Channel Awesome, but then he just sort of, yeah.
And now, well, all he does is rant on Twitter like so many other Z-grade celebrities.
And gets out of horrible car wrecks.
So, yeah, which is a better developed character, Boba Fett or Darth Maul?
Boba Fett.
Darth Maul's interesting, though. He got a lot of development in one adventure journal, and that was it. But
yeah, that's...
I really like the adventure journal.
Even the Boba Fett fiction I don't like. At least give him enough to where he goes from an interesting, unused character to, okay, an interesting overall character, although somewhat poorly handled, where Darth Maul gets one adventure log and somehow gets brought back with cybernetic legs.
Yeah, I never really took that seriously, just because there was one comic called Star Wars Visionaries. I have it. And it was a bunch of little short stories, and it did have Darth Maul come back, but I didn't think any of that was actually canon. And then they went ahead and made it canon. It's like, really? Why does he... When you get cut in half, you don't come back from that!
Yeah, well, it's the new lore. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Yeah, I'll say. Modern Star Wars. One day I will actually watch, I'm not even saying one day. Next year I will be sitting through the crappy wars. Oh, and there will be reviews. Don't you worry, ladies and gentlemen. Don't you worry.
You've been warned.
I know it's going to be the worst thing ever. Well, yeah, it will be one of the worst things ever because I'm a big Star Wars fan. I'm doing a whole year of it. I'm going to do another year of it a couple years from now.
What if you liking?
No, there's no way that's going to happen, just from what little I've seen. When I saw the scene where Kylo Ren gets, like, somebody escapes, and he just takes out his lightsaber and he starts cutting up his own ship. What? What? I'm supposed to take that guy seriously?
That's actually one of the least offensive scenes.
That's just horrible. Yeah, most powerful Sith Lord Woodbeef helps. Kathleen Kennedy, well, I don't know. Might be kind of close. Let's see. Spoony's last video he did was a cop dash cam. Oh, that's hilarious. Let's see. Looking for the internet videos. Oh, I did actually take most of them down except for the Small Ninja Chronicles. And that's just because those videos annoy me. I took them down because they don't really fit with the overall tone of the channel. It's basically just me reading some crappy stories from the internet. And I just wanted them gone. I deleted a couple of other videos as well that I wanted gone. It's just they were made in a very bad time in my life, so I wasn't thinking clearly. I know some like them, but I didn't. I just felt like they were sullying my channel. I do also intend to fix a number of other videos as well. Dark Souls 2, for example, that review has a really annoying title card at the beginning that needs to be removed. And Wolfenstein The New Order also needs to be re-edited as well, because at that point my brain was such mush that for some strange reason I said that it was the best first-person shooter ever made. Yeah. That's got to be re-edited, because it's not even in the top 100 for me. So yeah. But, you know, after a 10-year-long YouTube career, there's always going to be some videos that you regret. And, yeah. The Mall Ninja videos should still be up there.
Maybe you should have put them on like an archive channel instead of deleting them, but oh well.
Yeah, they just
Life will go on.
They annoy me. They annoy me. Let's see. And yeah, I watched the original Clone Wars show. I even have it on DVD, believe it or not.
Yeah, that was actually quite good.
So, yeah, it's just those Journey to the Internet just annoyed the crap out of me, though. It's like, I can't complain about types of videos that I don't like if I do them myself, so. And I hate videos where all people do is just read off of an article. Like, that shit really annoys me. It's like, it takes no effort. It's just, I'm gonna read something ridiculous today. And it wasn't even really me saying much other than just reacting to various gross or stupid things. So it's like, eh.
Well, I suppose if there was, like, if we editorialize and basically insert your own, that would be, you know, considerably more effort and would be a bit better.
I saw it. Oh, go on.
Reaction and or just base reading, unless you're getting paid for it and doing a voice actor gig, not really something worth chasing.
Yeah, I still have them on the hard drive, so I can put them up one day. Kill the Revenant without even looking? No, I was actually looking at the second monitor, so I could still see it. Commentary channels. I don't know. I don't really watch them, to be honest. I don't watch much
some
YouTube.
Some can be good. Some are rather cringe-inducing.
Like, the only thing I watch on YouTube these days is In Range, and that's about it. I just don't have the time for it anymore. I don't really do that much gaming. This is the most amount of gaming I've done all week. It's just one of those things that happens. I am tempted to potentially start doing some videos on some really bad fanfic, like actually review them instead of just me like reacting. Because I kind of want to finish reading that horrible book I described for everyone, just because it's so bad. I want to see how it ends, kind of, and then
Hey, where's that Discovery Season 1?
Hey, that takes too much effort for not enough gain. Okay, that means I have to watch that whole show again. And like, holy crap, was that bad. Like,
I barely made it through Discovery.
Honestly, I'd rather read The Adventures of Fanfic Writer than I did find a really good, horrible fanfic that I don't think anyone's made that many videos on, and that is, of course, a fanfic. I don't remember the name of it, but it's where Inuyasha, which is a horrible show. I'm not going to say Inuyasha is a horrible show just because I've never actually seen it.
I am, because Rumiko Takahashi literally phoned that one in because she realized, hey, wait, I don't have to do any real effort, but I get great paycheck.
Well, there you go. But it's Inuyasha as a vampire. Okay? I get the feeling I get my Immortal vibes right now from that, so I'm kind of hoping that it's terrible, and I might do some kind of video on that at some point.
I'm kind of actually tempted to write up a non-fan fiction original story, very much akin to some of what you see in Vampire the Masquerade, where imagine Vampire the Masquerade Clerks Edition, where they're just riffing on the fact that, you know, these bastards think we sparkle. Things like that.
Vampires. I just like... That's one of the things I like about Monster Hunter. They're actually dangerous again. And, well, they're actually dangerous in non-John Ringo books. John Ringo annoyed me with... Okay, John Ringo has been... Let me put it this way. After 2008, John Ringo became way more political than he ever was. Okay? And I think we can all know why, but... God damn, man. It's like, he went from, like, having a couple of jabs here and there. Like, he'd jab at the media now and again, which was fine. But after that, every book afterwards, holy crap. Like, I think one of the worst book he did was Last Centurion, which was a first-person narrative novel that was pretty much as bad as that Monster Hunter thing I mentioned. Where he said that old people were useless. Now remember, this guy is old himself, and that they can't contribute in any meaningful way. I'm thinking, like, really now? Really now?
Sounds like he's got a serious case of self-loathing.
Well, no, he must, because in another book I read of his, hoping it was good, it was called Troy's Gate or something like that. I can't remember the name. But in that, one of the... basically, it's an alien invasion thing. Aliens invade, and they like to use a bioweapon. And the bioweapon is literally designed to kill old people and stupid people. I'm not even joking. Now, how it...
Yeah, that's a psychological condition that's gotta be.
And he's a fucking creeper, too. Like...
The funny thing is, most of the most useful things I have learned in my life came from World War II vets, Korean War vets, and Vietnam War vets.
Yeah, I don't know what he's thinking, or if he's thinking... He's a fucking creeper, too. Like, in his zombie trilogy that he created, which weren't even that... Well, the zombie trilogy was okay, but still pretty bad. He had a Mary Sue female character, basically a 16-year-old girl that can shoot all the guns and kick all the ass, and then is invited to join the U.S. Marines and actually lead a Marine squad. Oh, it's 16, by the way. Now, it was after a zombie apocalypse, but I'm not buying that. Oh, and she can learn how to fly a Seahawk helicopter. All at age 16, by the way.
Okay, I spent quite a long time in flight sims, even as a kid. And there's no way you're getting me to fly a Seahawk.
So...
the startup procedure for a Seahawk is absurd.
But remember, she can also not only fly the Seahawk, but also beat up zombies and somehow lead a Marine infantry squad.
Okay, I just came back, but I assume you're talking about Flight Simulator make expert pilot.
Flight Simulator can help you out a lot, and especially the modern ones like Prepare 3D and, you know...
Right. So now
No, it doesn't have to do with Flight Simulators. I just brought it up as the fact that...
Damn it.
Yeah, this character, you know, at their age, no.
That book also had some other problems where there was an SJW, that member of the government that they find that survived the zombie apocalypse and wants to basically try to arrest the zombies. I'm sorry.
For what? Bio research? That's about all you're going to get out of them.
Yeah, it didn't make a lot of sense. And then he finds not Sarah Palin. For those who don't remember who Sarah Palin is, she was a vice presidential candidate that the real hardcore, hard R Republicans really liked for some reason.
She was in that movie, Iron Sky.
Shit. But, yeah, you know, they find
Reminds
that.
me, I need to play Iron Sky Invasion.
Is that a game? They actually made an Iron Sky game? I did not know that.
Yeah, I've got it in the library. I need to play it. I just haven't yet.
I had no idea that such a thing existed. Goddamn archvile. I do like the archvile in this game, though. Quite a bit, actually. Chainsaw time! But yeah, that book also had one big creeper issue. Now, all throughout that Monster Hunter book, there's a lot of creeper vibes, too, of this guy just picking up every woman he gets and just fucking leaving them as quickly as possible. But
It sounds like he wanted to write a James Bond-esque character, but just didn't realize what made James Bond cool.
yeah, this guy's just a douche. Let's just put it that way. But his zombie books actually had... should I even say this on stream? I'm not going to say it on stream, but let me put it this way. The zombie books had something that was very unnecessary, that didn't really add anything to the overall story, and was just unpleasant to read. Let's just leave it at that. Oh yeah, well, one thing that shouldn't get the video taken down is also he really liked to say that, like, well, when the zombies attacked and the people were cooped up in certain places, all the chicks got pregnant. It's like, oh god, come on, just get laid, dude. Stop writing this crap. So yeah. That, of course, is my adventures reading John Ringo books. And that's not even the worst of his stuff. If you ever read a book called Killed or Don't, oh my god, that's even worse than that Monster Hunter thing, because it's another Mary Sue. Another one! Where basically the guy's the Punisher, but also gets all the women as well.
Okay, no. If I'm going to read a pulp book, I'm going to read one which isn't focused on wank material. I'm actually going to read the Survivalist.
Yeah. Oh, wait, hold on. Quake versus Doom. I'll actually go with Doom versus Quake. I like Quake well enough.
I'm going to have to go with Quake. Don't get me wrong. I really, really, really like Doom, but Quake has a lot of good memories for me, and I've got a lot of mods and maps, things like that for it.
Well, one day I need to actually do a playthrough of Quake, because I don't think I've done that yet. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we have reached the hour-and-a-half mark, and I am GeneralLotz.
I'm ready.
And Rage
Not
has...
Rage Killer person.
Oh, good, he's still there. And we're going to wish you good Doom 3 and not good anything written by John Ringo other than one book, and that book is, of course, Into the Looking Glass. Or whatever makes you happy. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, and if you can, please consider supporting me on Patreon so that I can continue bringing you this awesome content.